So Chris, good to see you here at NASCIO. Tell me a little bit about what's going on in New Jersey. What are some of the strategic things you're working on? What are some of the strategic things that you're thinking about nowadays?
The word I would think of is balance. It's in this position, there's so much going on with the capabilities, the hype, the promise of better services being delivered with artificial intelligence. But at the same time, we have a government to run, and we have to make sure that we continue to use our residents' data in a way that gives them confidence that we're proper stewards of their data, and yet we don't want to pass this opportunity by. So it really is striking a balance. And at this conference at NASCIO, you get to kind of see all fronts. We've had learning lounges and sessions all about the technology and some of the exciting use cases that different states are doing. There's some common ones, definitely a lot of use cases involving call centers and helping staff have better access instantly to information that's infused with generative AI. And we also have sessions where we talk about governance and we talk about ethical use, how we prevent unwanted biases and hallucinations and inaccuracies. So it has really been a key focus of this session. I know today I'm looking forward to a focus on data, with all of the information, with all of the use cases that are exploding involving generative AI. It's all going to be limited and governed by how good our data is. And I think it's forcing us to look back, if you will, look back through the supply chain and seeing, hey, data is a rather important element. And so we have to make sure that it's consistent and as accurate as we can. There's probably a lot of older data that many states have within their websites or their policies and their documents. So that's going to be an operationally focused but exciting part of it. So yeah, it's been terrific.
Yeah, and so when you think about something like data in the context of your work in New Jersey, I mean, where are you all on your data journey? What are some of the projects that you have underway in the data space?
We structurally, each of the agencies in New Jersey has the ownership of their data. They're the data stewards. They control whom it's shared with or not, and so forth. So that leads to a challenge of a lot of diverse interpretations of how a name should be stored or an address or how long this field is. So given that many of our residents in New Jersey are used to having an account with motor vehicles and an account maybe with Department of Labor and an account with health, it does create a challenge. And a lot of folks are putting a lot of time trying to figure out the best way to bring that data together and whether we're actually changing systems of record or whether we're creating a unified data vision and view. That's also going on in New Jersey as we speak.
It's interesting when you think about something like generative AI and you think about the data, as you said, being owned by all the different agencies and how that all funnels together in terms of the citizen experience. It feels like generative AI kind of puts us in a position where a lot of the conversations we've been having about digital services over the last couple of years are changing pretty rapidly because of AI's ability to sort of solve some of those problems of where for us. What are you thinking about that? How are you sort of thinking of the future of digital services in the era of generative AI?
Certainly, we view it as a very careful, risk-based approach. Our governor is extremely supportive of New Jersey making use of AI. Governor Murphy has set forth a task force, and it's a very diverse one. We have folks from state agencies, academia, private sector, and government, and it's been a very interesting and very enlightening experience working with that subcommittee. We will be producing a final report for the governor that's rather comprehensive. But the key learnings really are, the governor realizes that we can't go right into a high risk, even if it has the promise of a high return, but we can't jump into a high risk use case without learning and setting forth those guardrails. One of the sessions that I hosted was talking about the guardrails of AI, and it's quite true. So, yeah, it's, I kind of come back to my original question on. I think it's all about balance.
And so, normally we see CIOs at conferences like this every 6 months or so. So, in the next 6 months, what do you hope to achieve? What do you hope to finish and wrap up and be excited to talk about next time we meet?
Well, New Jersey is smack dab in the middle of our budget cycle, and so a lot of interaction and working between the executive branch and our legislature and the governor's office to make sure that these priorities, including the ones that are, kind of anchored in a generative AI, but that we get the proper, not only funding, but also funding as well as legislation that's set forth to support generative AI in a proper way in New Jersey.